The desperate arrival. The sirens at Deep Space Observatory Station 7 pierced the night shift's routine. Commander Elena Martinez spilled her coffee across her console as the readings flashed impossible data across her screens. Something massive had just appeared at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, and it wasn't natural. "Get me confirmation on these readings," she barked, her voice steady despite her racing heart. The night crew scrambled to their stations, fingers flying across keyboards and touchscreens. "Confirmed, Commander," Lieutenant Jackson replied, his voice trembling. "Object is artificial, approximately 3 kilometers in length, and it's moving toward Earth." Within hours, every government on the planet knew. The United Earth Council convened an emergency session as the alien vessel continued its measured approach through the solar system. Its hull gleamed like polished obsidian, reflecting starlight in patterns that seemed to defy physics. When the ship finally settled into Earth's orbit, it broadcast a simple message across all frequencies: "We come seeking sanctuary. Please respond." Commander Martinez found herself aboard the orbital platform Prometheus, leading humanity's first contact team. Her military training hadn't prepared her for this moment, but then again, nothing could have. The airlock hissed open, revealing a being that stood nearly 8 feet tall. Its form was vaguely humanoid, with silvery skin that seemed to flow like mercury. When it spoke, its voice resonated like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "I am Ambassador Korath of the Zephyrian Republic," the being intoned, its luminous eyes fixed on Martinez. "We come not as conquerors, but as refugees. Our civilization faces extinction." The conference room aboard Prometheus hosted the most surreal meeting in human history. Holographic displays showed star maps beyond human comprehension, with vast swaths marked in ominous red. "The Devourers," Korath explained, gesturing to the crimson regions. "They appeared from dark space 3 of your decades ago. They do not negotiate. They do not enslave. They consume." General Marcus Thompson, head of United Earth Defense Forces, leaned forward. "Consume how?" Korath's form shimmered with what Martinez interpreted as distress. "Everything. Planets stripped to the core. Populations converted to energy. Technology absorbed. 23 civilizations have fallen. We are among the last." The hologram shifted to show massive bioships, each the size of a moon, surrounded by clouds of smaller craft. They moved through space like locusts, leaving nothing but dead worlds in their wake. "Why come to us?" President Sarah Chen asked via a secure link from Earth. "Our technology is primitive compared to yours." "That is precisely why," Korath responded. "The Devourers adapt to advanced technology instantly. But your species, you have something different. We've monitored your broadcasts, studied your history. You possess an adaptability, a capacity for violence tempered by purpose that we lack." The debate raged for days in the United Earth Council. Some argued for isolation, others for limited support. But when long-range sensors detected Devourer scout ships entering the Oort cloud, the decision crystallized. President Chen addressed the world. "Today, we face a choice. We can hide and hope, or we can fight and survive." The Zephyrians came to us not just for aid, but because they recognized something in humanity that we've often feared in ourselves. Our capacity for war is not a weakness. It is our strength when wielded with purpose. The transformation began immediately. Every factory retooled for military production. Civilian shipyards converted to warship construction. Research facilities worldwide pivoted to weapons development. Humanity's entire economic output shifted to a singular purpose. Dr. Sarah Cooper, leading physicist at CERN, found herself heading a team reverse engineering Zephyrian technology. "It's like giving medieval blacksmiths blueprints for a fusion reactor," she muttered, studying the crystalline power cores. "But if there's one thing humans excel at, it's making weapons out of anything." Within weeks, they had prototypes. Human ingenuity merged with alien technology in ways the Zephyrians never imagined. Where they had developed elegant energy weapons, Humans created devastating hybrid systems combining kinetic force with energy discharge. Admiral Zhang Wei stood on the bridge of humanity's first true warship, the UES Vengeance. Unlike the smooth, organic lines of Zephyrian vessels, human ships were angular, bristling with weapons, designed for one purpose: destruction. The Zephyrians fight like surgeons, Zhang told his crew. Precise, careful, measured. We fight like warriors. Overwhelming force, calculated brutality, victory at any cost. Training camps sprouted across every continent. Millions volunteered, understanding that this war wasn't just for Earth, but for the survival of all sentient life. The Zephyrians watched in amazement as humanity mobilized with terrifying efficiency. Ambassador Korath observed a training exercise where human pilots executed maneuvers that would have killed any Zephyrian. "Your species courts death," he said to Martinez. "No," she replied, watching a fighter squadron practice kamikaze tactics. "We court victory. Death is just the price we're willing to pay." The first human fleet launched exactly 90 days after first contact. 50 warships, each a testament to human engineering and determination. They carried not just weapons, but humanity's greatest asset, the will to win at any cost. As the fleet prepared to jump to hyperspace, Admiral Zhang broadcast to all ships. "The Devourers think they're the apex predators of the galaxy. They're about to learn what happens when you threaten humanity's home." The ships vanished in flashes of light, carrying Earth's answer to the stars. The Zephyrians had asked for aid. Humanity was bringing war. In the command center on Earth, President Chen watched the fleet depart. "What have we unleashed?" she wondered aloud. General Thompson placed a hand on her shoulder. "Hope, Madam President. We've unleashed hope. And for humanity, hope has always been our deadliest weapon." The transformation of Earth continued. Children learned combat skills alongside mathematics. Artists designed propaganda that stirred souls. Musicians composed battle hymns, every aspect of human culture bent toward the singular goal of victory. The Devourers had made a fatal mistake. They had threatened Earth. They had given humanity a common enemy. And in doing so, they had awakened something that had slumbered since the last great wars: the full, terrible potential of human civilization united in purpose. As reports came in of the fleet's first engagement, as casualty lists grew alongside victory tallies, humanity didn't falter. Each loss fueled greater determination. Each victory spawned new innovations. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had survived every catastrophe, every war, every challenge their world had thrown at them. Not through superior technology or physical prowess, but through sheer, indomitable will. The Zephyrians had sought aid. Humanity was delivering salvation through fire. The Forge of Warriors. The Battle of Proxima Beta would be remembered as the moment the galaxy learned to fear humanity. Admiral Zhang's fleet dropped out of hyperspace directly into the heart of a Devourer harvesting operation, catching them completely unprepared for the fury that followed. "All ships, execute Pattern Omega," Zhang ordered calmly as klaxons blared across the bridge. The human fleet scattered like a school of fish, each ship following pre-programmed attack vectors that seemed suicidal to Zephyrian observers. The Devourers' bioships, each larger than Manhattan, began their standard response, launching clouds of interceptor drones while charging their primary consumption beams. They had destroyed countless civilizations with this tactic, but they had never faced humans. "Focus fire on the command node," Captain Maria Cortez of the UES Relentless ordered. Her ship, along with 5 others, accelerated to speeds that pushed their inertial dampeners to the limit. The Zephyrian liaison officer aboard turned pale. Their species couldn't survive such G-forces. Human ships didn't rely on elegant energy shields like other species. Instead, they used ablative armor that could take tremendous punishment, while their weapons remained operational. As they closed to point-blank range, they unleashed a combination of nuclear missiles, railguns, and adapted Zephyrian beam weapons. The results were devastating. Devourer drones, designed to counter long-range energy weapons, were shredded by hypersonic projectiles. Their bioships, adapted to absorb energy attacks, buckled under the kinetic assault. "They're trying to disengage," reported Tactical Officer Williams. "Negative," Jean responded. "No retreat, no surrender. All ships ramming speed." 3 damaged human vessels, their crews already evacuated to escape pods, accelerated to maximum velocity, and slammed into the largest Devourer ship. The resulting explosion lit up the system like a second sun. Back on Earth, the war economy reached fever pitch. Dr. Cooper's team had made a breakthrough. They had discovered a frequency that disrupted Devourer neural networks. Within days, every human weapon was being modified to incorporate the new technology. "It's not elegant," Cooper explained to the military brass, "but it works. It's like hitting their nervous system with a sledgehammer." Factories that once produced consumer electronics now churned out neural disruptors. Children collected scrap metal for the war effort. The elderly worked assembly lines. Every human, from age 8 to 80, contributed to the war machine. The Zephyrians watched this transformation with a mixture of awe and horror. They had expected humans to provide soldiers, perhaps some innovative tactics. Instead, they witnessed an entire species reshaping itself for war. "Your people are frightening," Ambassador Korath confided to President Chen during a strategy meeting. Chen smiled grimly. "We spent thousands of years fighting each other. Now we have a common enemy. You're seeing what humans can achieve when we stop holding back." The second major engagement came at the Hedgeman Nebula, where Devourer forces had gathered to consume a resource-rich system. This time, the aliens were prepared for human tactics, or so they thought. Admiral Eva Rostov led the assault with a strategy that defied conventional warfare. Instead of engaging directly, human ships used the nebula's gas clouds for cover, launching hit-and-run attacks that slowly wore down the Devourer defenses. "They're adapting to our tactics," her tactical officer warned. "Good," Rostov replied. "Spring the trap." Hidden within asteroid fields throughout the system, automated weapons platforms activated. Thousands of nuclear mines, railgun turrets, and missile pods opened fire simultaneously. The Devourers, focused on the mobile human fleet, found themselves caught in a crossfire of unprecedented scale. Meanwhile, human special forces teams led daring raids on occupied worlds. Lieutenant Jack Morrison's squad infiltrated a Devourer processing facility on Kepler-62f, where millions of alien captives awaited conversion to energy. "Remember your training," Morrison whispered to his team as they planted explosives throughout the facility. "We're not just soldiers. We're liberators." The facility's destruction sparked rebellions across Devourer-controlled space. Species that had surrendered to despair found new courage in humanity's defiance. The humans weren't just fighting. They were winning. At the Memphis shipyards orbiting Mars, construction reached unprecedented levels. Where the first fleet had taken 90 days to build, new ships now rolled off assembly lines weekly. Each vessel incorporated lessons learned from previous battles, becoming progressively more lethal. "We're not just building ships," Chief Engineer Thompson declared. "We're building hope, one hull plate at a time." The Zephyrians contributed their advanced technology, but it was human innovation that turned the tide. Where alien species relied on sophisticated energy weapons, humans combined primitive and advanced technologies in unexpected ways. The breakthrough came when Private Sophie Chen, a former video game designer, proposed using drone swarms controlled by gaming algorithms. Within weeks, human fighters were coordinating with AI-controlled drone squadrons that overwhelmed Devourer defenses through sheer numbers and unpredictable tactics. "It's like playing the universe's deadliest video game," she explained as her drones devastated a Devourer patrol fleet. As victory followed victory, the nature of the war changed. No longer were humans merely defending. They were taking the fight to the enemy. Liberation fleets freed world after world, each success adding more species to the growing alliance. The Devourers, accustomed to easy victories against peaceful civilizations, found themselves increasingly on the defensive. Their bioships, designed to consume rather than fight prolonged wars, proved vulnerable to sustained assault. "They made us for this," Admiral Zhang declared after the Battle of New Tasmania. "Every war, every conflict in human history, it was all preparation for this moment." The cost was high. Thousands of human ships lost, millions of lives sacrificed. But for every human that fell, 10 more volunteered to take their place. Death was not a deterrent, it was motivation. In secret facilities across Earth, scientists worked on the ultimate weapon. Dr. Cooper's team had analyzed captured Devourer technology and made a startling discovery. The aliens' consumption process could be reversed. "We can turn their own weapons against them," Cooper reported to the War Council, "but it will require a direct assault on their homeworld." The plan was audacious, bordering on insane. But that was humanity's strength. Where other species saw impossibility, humans saw opportunity. As preparations began for the final assault, a message arrived from the Devourer Collective, the first communication they had ever sent to prey species. "Cease hostilities. Terms acceptable." The War Council erupted in debate. Some argued for accepting surrender, others for total victory. President Chen made the final decision. They consumed 23 civilizations. They showed no mercy. Neither shall we. The die was cast. Humanity would take the war to its ultimate conclusion. The Devourers would learn why humans had earned their place among the stars through blood, determination, and an unquenchable will to survive. The final battle approached, and with it, the fate of the galaxy. The Wrath unleashed. Operation Pandora's Box began with the largest fleet action in galactic history. Over 3,000 human warships, supported by liberated alien vessels, converged on the Devourer home system. The plan was brutally simple: total annihilation. "All ships report ready," Admiral Zhang announced from the bridge of the UES Retribution, humanity's largest dreadnought. Behind him, holographic displays showed the assembled might of Earth's war machine. The Devourer home system was a fortress, 13 planets converted into military installations, surrounded by millions of defensive drones. At its heart, the Devourer Prime Nexus, a construct the size of Jupiter that served as their collective consciousness. "They're broadcasting again," Communications Officer Reynolds reported. "They're offering terms." "Ignore them," John ordered. "All ships, execute jump." The fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, immediately engaging Devourer defenses. But this time, humanity had a secret weapon. Dr. Cooper's reversal technology had been installed on specialized ships, the Conversion Fleet. "Conversion Fleet, you are go for deployment," Zhang commanded. 20 ships broke formation, each protected by a squadron of fighters. They carried modified Devourer technology that would turn the aliens' consumption process against them. As they approached the first defensive line, Devourer drones swarmed to intercept. Captain Lisa Wong led the first conversion ship. Activating reversal field now. The modified Devourer technology came online, creating a sphere of twisted space around her vessel. Drones that entered the field began to dissolve, their energy feeding back into the human ships. "It's working," Wong reported. "We're turning their own weapons into fuel." Across the system, similar scenes played out. The Devourers, faced with their own technology turned against them, fell into disarray. For the first time in their existence, they experienced fear. Meanwhile, ground forces led by Colonel Martinez launched assaults on planetary installations. Human Marines, equipped with power armor derived from Zephyrian technology, fought alongside liberated alien species. "Remember why we're here." Martinez rallied her troops as they stormed a processing center. "For every world they consumed, for every life they took, we are their reckoning." The battle raged for days. Human casualties mounted, but reinforcements continued to arrive from Earth. The entire species had mobilized for this moment. Factory ships in the outer system produced replacement fighters even as the battle continued. On the fifth day, the human fleet breached the inner defenses. Before them loomed the prime nexus, the heart of Devourer civilization. Its surface writhed with organic technology, countless eyes and tentacles reaching into space. All ships, concentrate fire on the nexus, John ordered. Give them everything we've got. Thousands of weapons fired simultaneously. Nuclear explosions blossomed across the nexus's surface. Rail guns punched holes through its organic armor. Energy beams carved devastating paths through its structure. But the nexus fought back. Massive tentacles, each capable of crushing a battleship, lashed out at the human fleet. Bioenergy weapons of unimaginable power vaporized entire squadrons. "Sir, we're taking heavy losses," Tactical reported. "Hold formation," John barked. "Conversion fleet, prepare for final protocol." Dr. Cooper, aboard the lead conversion ship, initiated the ultimate reversal sequence. "This is it," she whispered. "Everything we've learned, everything we've sacrificed, it all leads to this moment." The conversion ships formed a precise formation around the nexus. As one, they activated their reversal fields at maximum power. The fabric of space itself seemed to scream as the Devourer's fundamental nature was turned against them. The nexus began to implode. Its massive form collapsed inward as its own consumption process reversed, feeding on itself. The process cascaded through Devourer networks across the system. Bioships dissolved. Planetary installations crumbled. The entire Devourer civilization began to unravel. "It's working," Cooper shouted over the chaos. "The chain reaction is self-sustaining." But victory came at a price. The energy release was beyond anything predicted. Conversion ships began to overload, their crews making the ultimate sacrifice to ensure the process completed. "All ships, emergency jump," John ordered as the nexus entered final collapse. "Get clear of the blast zone." The human fleet scattered as the Devourer home system died. The nexus's death created a supernova-level event, visible across the galaxy. When the light faded, nothing remained of the Devourers but cosmic dust. In the aftermath, the true scale of victory became clear. Across the galaxy, Devourer remnants shut down, their connection to the nexus severed. Occupied worlds were freed. Species thought extinct emerged from hiding. The cost had been staggering. Nearly 40% of the human fleet destroyed, hundreds of thousands of lives lost. But humanity had achieved the impossible. They had saved the galaxy. Ambassador Korath met with President Chen aboard the UES Victory. "We asked for your aid," he said, his form shimmering with emotion. "You gave us salvation, but at such a cost." "Freedom is never free," Chen replied. "We knew the price and paid it gladly." The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity emerged not as conquerors, but as protectors. The United Earth Defense Force became the core of a new galactic alliance, dedicated to preventing any species from again threatening others with extinction. Former enemies became allies. The Zephyrians, who had once viewed humanity with fear, now stood as partners. Other species, inspired by human courage, contributed their strengths to the alliance. On Earth, the war economy slowly transitioned back to peacetime production. But the changes were permanent. Humanity had been forged in the crucible of galactic war and emerged stronger. Monuments rose on every world, to the fallen, to the victorious, to the moment when humanity answered the call and brought not just aid, but the fury of war to those who threatened peace. Years later, Admiral John, now retired, spoke at the dedication of the Galactic Peace Memorial. "They asked for our help, and we answered with everything we had. Not because we love war, but because we love life." The Devourers learned too late that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our numbers. It's our unbreakable will to protect what matters. The memorial displayed the names of every human who died in the war, alongside those of allied species. At its center, a simple inscription. They wanted our aid. We gave them victory. As new threats emerged in the galaxy, they found humanity ready, not eager for war, but prepared for it. The lesson of the Devourers spread across the stars: threaten Earth, threaten humanity's allies, and face not just resistance, but the full unleashed fury of a species that had turned warfare into an art form. The Zephyrians had sought aid. Humanity had delivered salvation. The galaxy was safer for it, protected by the very traits that once made humans feared: their adaptability, their determination, and their capacity for violence when wielded with purpose. In the end, humanity proved that sometimes the greatest act of peace is the willingness to wage total war against those who would destroy it. End of story.